question, how many times have you shopped online, very excitedly purchasing something, waiting for it to ship to you, ripped open the package and realized it's not the same color as the photos, it's half the size you thought it was going to be, or there's a terrible seam right down the middle of the garment? Yeah, me too. Way too many times, but I still prefer online shopping because I have a much wider range of selection than if I go to the mall. I can compare the price of a garment to something similar and get the best price, and I can see the reviews from actual customers, which gives me a better opinion of whether it's a well-made piece. I wanted to show you my little tricks for shopping smarter online. Now today's video is sponsored by Quince. They were so kind to send me 5 new pieces that fit seamlessly into my wardrobe, but I've been a loyal customer for quite some time. If you haven't heard of Quince, it's an online retailer that gets their products from the same factories that are making all the brands that you love, but without that extra price tag. So you can get the exact same piece that you would get from a similar retailer for a fraction of the cost. And let me tell you, the quality is just as good. I want the highest quality for the price I want to pay, and that's what I find regularly at Quince. If it's your first time purchasing from Quince, you can get 10% off your entire first order by using my link down in the description box below. For this video, I want to go through the 5 pieces that I selected from Quince for them to send me and show you what that looks like on the website, the details I was looking for to know that these pieces would last a long time in my wardrobe. Let's get started. Let's start with the dress that I'm wearing right now. This is the Tencel jersey fit and flare dress. And right off the bat, I'm seeing the word Tencel. Do you know what Tencel is? Because I didn't before I looked it up. What is Tencel? It says Tencel's a good fabric from someone who uses it, of course. But this right here, what are the disadvantages of Tencel? It says the pros are moisture absorption, breathability, durability, and softness. Okay. The cons are a higher price. It's unlikely to withstand high temperatures when laundering. I wash all my clothes in cold water. And third, silky feel may not appeal to everyone. The heck? Silky feel always appeals to me. So I think that Tencel's a really good fabric. I've had it in a number of different purchases, including a similar dress to this that I paid way more money for, but I don't really want to talk about because I paid way more money for. Anyway, this dress is Tencel, but specifically online, you see that the materials are 95% Tencel and 5% spandex. So not only is it Tencel, but it also has that little bit of stretch, and that's what's going to make it very comfortable and figure flattering. So you can see that fit and flare is nice and cinched at the waist and then creates a lovely hourglass figure. Now, one of the things that I always do when I'm online shopping is I switch between colors, even if I'm not interested in that color. I try to look at the lightest color and the darkest color because the lightest color is going to show where the stitches are generally. Like this black dress, you cannot tell where the stitches are. So I'm going to switch over to the sage color, and now I see that there is a seam that is right across the waistline, which is why the torso is nice and fitted. And then we have the flare, so you can see there's a seam going down the middle, and that allows the A-line to create that flare shape. Then I go to the darkest color, even if I'm not interested in it, because I want to look more at the shape of the garment. And sometimes if it's a pattern or a light color, you can be distracted by the color. And now I'm just seeing the silhouette of the garment, and that's what shows the fit and flare is very flattering. So I'll switch back and forth between colors just to notice little details I wouldn't if I only stuck to the color I'm actually going to buy. Now, something I have to do, and I think all women should probably do this when they're online shopping, is look at the size chart, look at the length of garments, because even though the average height of a woman is 5'4", and I am considered a tall 5'5", I still oftentimes have to shorten my garments. So this is supposed to be a midi dress. Fun fact, I have a midi dress that's actually the length of a maxi dress on me, which is fine. I like maxis too, but I want to know what is the size of this. So I go over to the size chart, and it's not telling me what the length is. So the model's 5'9", wearing a midi length. That's a true midi on her, but on me it's probably going to be a bit longer. I actually like longer dresses because it's easier for me to sit the way I do not ladylike sometimes and not show my undergarments. So I think this one's going to work out really well for me. And once I got my package in and tried it on, I was very, very pleased with the material, the fit, the color, the way it lays on my body. I think it's just such a great staple piece that I'm going to have for a very long time. The next item I want to look at is the item I've been most excited to try. It's the 100% suede biker jacket, and I got it in the color Port. It's been sitting in my shopping cart for months and months. I've been waiting for the slightest chill to buy this jacket, and let me tell you, this is such a beautiful piece. Okay, the first thing I noticed is that 100% suede biker jacket is the title of the garment. That's not like the sexiest marketing term. It's certainly not that catchy, but do you know why they chose it? Because oftentimes you see pieces like this and it's fake leather. It's polyester. In fact, I have one hanging in my closet that I paid the same price as this for, and it's fake. One thing to note is that this is a goat suede leather, and I wasn't sure if that was like better or worse than cow suede. So I just Googled it and learned that it's a comparable product, cow or goat suede, pretty much interchangeable. The second thing I want to point out is that the lining is 100% poly satin. It says it's fully lined. So I ask myself when I see these things, is that good? What advantage does it have? What disadvantage does it have? The fully lined component means that it's not partially lined, which means it's missing some of the lining, or unlined, which means it's probably just an overall cheap garment. So they denote that it's fully lined because that's going to help with structure and to keep your skin oils off of the actual leather on the inside of the garment. And then the 100% poly satin, that to me is actually advantageous only in this garment because it's likely that I'm going to be wearing it with like this tank dress, and that might get some deodorant stains on the garment. If it was leather on the inside, then that deo is not coming out. That oil is going to be absorbed. But on a poly satin, I can spot clean that deo out, or if there's a stain on the inside, I can spot clean that out very easily. Lastly, about sizing, I ordered this jacket in a medium, which is my normal size at Quince. I find that their medium is about a 6 or 8 size, and that's what I generally wear. But you can go to the size chart and see the chest, waist, and hip measurements to ensure that it's going to fit you. I'll give you my stats in case that's helpful for you while you're shopping. The next piece is something that might be a little dicey to some people. Bodysuits were so trending several years ago, and now they're not at all, but I still really love them because they stay tucked in. So personally, I've had not that good luck with bodysuits. I feel like 1 out of every 2 I've liked, and the opposite I've really disliked. So here are the things that I look for when I'm shopping for a bodysuit. The first thing is that it is stretch cotton jersey. What does that mean? The material is 87% organic cotton with 13% spandex. That is pretty stretchy. A 5% spandex is like usually the max stretch I see. 13% is going to be very stretchy. So let me tell you, I actually think I should have ordered this garment in a large. I don't even think I checked the size chart on this because I always get a medium at Quince. I think all women should probably do this when they're online shopping, is look at the size chart.
Look at the size chart. Look at the size chart.
But I think it's a little bit tighter than I wanted it to be, so I would size up in this. But as I'm looking at this piece, it says it's a high cut leg opening and it has a thong back that remains invisible under clothing. Now when I'm shopping for bodysuits, I am looking for a thong back because the thing I hate the most is when it's a bikini style back and then you've got a seam going across the middle of your butt, which looks like you have 4 butt cheeks. It ain't cute. Now this piece is also available in black, which I think is going to be the most timeless in the wardrobe, or rose, which is so beautiful if you have like more of a romantic persona. But I got it in the color ocean because I was going for a tonal look with the next piece on our list. Well, you've already seen this piece now in the previous outfit. These are the Ultra Stretch Pont Super Wide Leg Pant. I have so much to tell you about this piece. First off, the Ultra Stretch. Ultra Stretch Pont. Interesting fact, pont is actually an Italian word that means bridge. So you can think of the Pont di Roma, which is where this word was invented from a factory in Rome. It was supposed to mean that the fabric has the nice structure of the Roman bridge, Pont di Roma. The material itself is technically 60% rayon, 35% nylon, and 5% spandex. So working backwards, 5% spandex means very stretchy, 35% nylon. You can kind of think of like how pantyhose were originally called nylons. That's stretchy, okay? And 60% rayon. If you're not sure what rayon is, you just go over to Google, and say, what is rayon? It's breathable, moisture absorbent, and a popular choice. That's not interesting. It's also called viscose. I love viscose in a dress. But let's be realistic. I'm not just interested in the advantages, I'm interested in the disadvantages as well. It says rayon shrinks and loses much of its strength in water, so that rayon textiles must normally be dry cleaned. Okay, that's good information. So I go back over to my page and look at care. It says machine wash cold with light colors, delicate cycle, lay flat to dry. That's how I launder most of my clothing. So that's not really a disadvantage to me. Another thing I want to point out is that it says it's an exaggerated wide leg, and can confirm it is an exaggerated wide leg. I really like that. I think it gives it such a groovy, vibey kind of feel to it. And if it can make me feel more groovy and vibey, I dig it. The next thing that you might not would have noticed just from the photos is that it has an invisible side zipper and elastic waistband. So what are the advantages to that? Well, the invisible zipper is just going to make it look more professional. The elasticized waistband is a very important detail because that means your pants are actually going to stay at your waist instead of you needing to tug them up all the time. Since there's no belt loops to wear it with a belt, you need to have that elasticized waistband to keep it in place no matter what you're doing. Now these pants, I can't really tell if I'm going to wear them more casually or dressed up because they're so appropriate for both looks. I can definitely see myself wearing this on a Saturday with a ball cap or on a Sunday if I'm dressing up a little. This is a piece that I'm very excited to show you because I think this would make such a good Christmas gift from you to you, love you, or to anyone else. I think this would make such a great gift, and it's a really good price. This is the Italian leather pouch travel set. I got it in the color cognac to match Baby Baguette, which is one of my favorite handbags. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then go watch last week's video. I'll link it at the end of this one. Anyway, the color cognac is just such a gorgeous color. I think it is timeless. When you're shopping for something like this that is going to last a long time, I would tend to go towards the more timeless colors than something that is trendy. So let's look into the details of this beautiful piece. The materials it says are 100% top grain Italian leather. The world of leather could be a bit confusing. The top grain sounds like that's the best that's out there, and that's actually not true. So I'm just gonna go over to Google and say, what is the best leather? It says it's full grain and it comes from the top layer of the hide. Okay, so full grain versus top grain, which is what we have with our travel set. And through more research than you're asking for in this video, I'm learning that full grain is the highest level and top grain is the next level. Now, the reason why I would say it's totally acceptable to have a top grain leather is because top grade is still really good. It's like an A- versus an A+. If you're buying full grain leather, you're going to get the full grain price. And if it's just not necessary, then I would consider the second best to be the right combination of quality and price. Good value. Now, here's a tip when you're shopping for accessories, handbags, that type of thing online. It's very important to look at sizing because what you're picturing is probably what you want, and it might not be what you're shopping for. So I look over at the size and fit. It says the large pouch is 6.5 inches high, 11 inches long, and 3.5 inches wide. While I can actually picture what 6, 11, and 3 inches looks like, it still helps to me to compare it to something I already own. And I'll just use my measuring tape to measure out what that size looks like and determine if that's the size I really want. And then something that is really cute is that the small pouch fits inside of the larger pouch for easy storage. I also really like that. So when it's not in use, when I'm not traveling, those pouches can nest inside each other and pack up very small. One of my favorite things about shopping at Quince is that it has a chart that shows the comparison of price and quality to other brands that I might be shopping from. For this travel set, you can see that the Quince one is $70 compared to $170, $170, $205. I think it's just wild to me that they are offering such great quality at such an affordable price point. And on top of that, you look at the bottom and you see they're the only one that offers free shipping year-round, free returns for 365 days. I've actually never returned an item from Quince, and I probably have 20 or so pieces from them because I've never wanted to. I've always been very satisfied with my orders, but 365 days to return and free shipping, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And that's why I'm such a brand loyalist to Quince, because I feel like they always deliver great value to me. And when I'm thinking about which brands am I going to promote to my audience, I'm really thinking, is it going to be a good value for you? So I hope that this video has been very useful to you as a more thorough introduction to Quince and just some shopping tips to shop online smarter and have way less returns. And remember, if it's your first time purchasing from Quince, you can get 10% off your entire first order by using my link down in the description box below. I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, take care.